Yeah, they did. And I remember tweeting after Chris Gale had got out and Marlon Samuels had got out saying um, that the game still wasn't over because it's a Van Cady wicket. All these players know how to bat on it, Lendl Simmons especially. Um, and, it was becoming, well, the dew had come down and the spinners had been negated. So and on that sort of wicket, your pace bowlers as well. If they haven't got the skill of someone like Bumrah or Nehra, so for example, a Hardik Pandya, um, he's going to travel the distance, and if it's in their slot, it's going to go because West Indies have more of a power game. So that was always going to be um, difficult, I think, for India and Dhoni in terms of juggling his bowlers and knowing when to bowl them. I thought obviously Virat Kohli. I think that was a that was a that was a typical Dhoni Virat Kohli move. He'd been the form player throughout the tournament, and I think it was the fans were behind him, and it was natural for that to happen for him to get a wicket off the first ball. But I think even him at the end there could not stop the West Indies because they were in such a good position. So I think actually they batted brilliantly in that first innings. Perhaps could have got a few more of the first six, but even Rahane was saying that it wasn't a traditional Van Cady wicket, and it was just sticking in the pitch a little bit. So I think they handled the situation as best they could because they've got the experience of playing there, and they got up to a competitive total. But the toss again was a crucial one, and I think the West Indies just believed that they could do it, and that's what helped them over the line. Also, when you get someone out twice on a no ball, it's always going to be difficult to bring that back because you've lost your disciplines. And I just hope someone bought Lendl Simmons a lottery ticket last night. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things that happens. The West Indies play some brilliant cricket, and for them to do it without Chris Gale. I also said that Andre Russell hadn't really kind of fired properly to the standards we know he can with the bat, and it was about time he did. So there you have it. He absolutely climbed into the Indian bowlers, and the fact that they were able to handle the pressure as well. They didn't even need Bravo, Sammy towards the end there. So brilliant for West Indies and for their country. Obviously disappointing for India, but I think they could be a serious contender on Sunday. But I'm hoping that England win, obviously. I think with England, they've been very much building up to this final, and I think perhaps have surprised a lot of people. I personally felt that before this tournament, they had a really good group of players, but it was just about them bringing it all together. And we've seen them kind of stutter on a couple of times in this tournament, but actually, in that last match against New Zealand in the semi-final, they brought everything together, and that again was very much building up. Jordan and Stokes at the death. The fact that they've been the go-to bowlers at the death for the last two games prior to that New Zealand game help them build into their role and gain confidence from nailing those Yorkers and executing their skills. And I think we've got a couple of bowlers there who Owen Morgan can definitely turn to at the death now. The fact that Moeen Ali came back in that last game as well after being dispatched at Delhi, I think was important. And actually the spinners are going to play an important role. And we haven't seen... Everyone ahead of this tournament thought that Adil Rashid would be the key bowler, but he hasn't necessarily been the person that's Owen Morgan has necessarily relied on to break a partnership. So I think he's going to have an important role in this final. But then with the bat, the fact that when you look at the top 10 run scorers in this tournament, with the West Indies, they've probably only got one or two players. With India, they had one player. With England, it's 3 players. It's Jason Roy, it's Joe Root, and it's Joss Buttler. So I think that will give England confidence. And if Alex Hales fires or Owen Morgan fires, then it's going to be brilliant for England fans. But I think Owen Morgan, it's a ground he knows well. He played at KKR. I'm hoping that this is his day to shine. But at the same time, I really believe England can win this. They are serious contenders. They've got pretty much everything covered. David Willey, we can't forget his role at the top. Certainly in the evening games, he's been able to swing the ball, and that's absolutely crucial in Indian conditions. It's something that Nehra's done really well, and I think he could have another crucial role as well.